YouTube, today we are cutting the Candy Man himself. I swear this kid is the reason why we never have lollipops in the barbershop. Always taking more than his fair share, but it's cool, man. We work with it. Listen, today we're gonna be doing a nice, crispy, low drop fade. Somewhere between a mid and a low drop fade. Keep the curls nice and full. This is the type of style that all the kids are rocking these days. So we definitely want to become familiar with this cut. Two versions of it as well. I'm gonna show you how this cut can be done with and without a front lineup. So we're gonna get into that part more towards the end of the video. But yeah, we're just gonna start off pulling down the excess curls, making sure that we have a nice foundation before we start setting in our guidelines. And the majority of the tools today, we're gonna be using the, what are we using today? The Instinct X, and we're gonna be using the Saber trimmer. So if you want discount on that, you can use my discount code Tito Cuts, along with all your Tomb 45 products as well. Same discount code Tito Cuts. So let's get into the video. So now it's time to start setting in some guidelines. I decided not to debulk first because he does come pretty often, so his hair is already laid down flat. I have clear visibility so I can put these guidelines in. If you are a more experienced barber, go ahead and tap in your line like this, but just make sure that you use a soft touch. You don't want to put in anything that's too hard or too harsh to take out later. If you are less experienced of a barber, you can either do it with the trimmer flipped over, so it leaves a softer line, or even punch it in with your clipper all the way closed. So now here we are going to take a moment and just make sure that you remove all of the bulk underneath this. Now, when you're working towards the bottom, you can use full pressure, you can use both of the foils and whichever foil shaver you choose to use. But as you get closer to the bald line that we just put in, that first guideline, just make sure that you soften it up a little bit. You don't want to remove all of the stubble all the way up close to it. This is your first micro transition. So make sure that you bald it out completely at the bottom, but use a softer touch as you approach that bald line. So now that the foundation is set, we're gonna set our first panel, and we're gonna go in with the Stylecraft Instinct X, and we're gonna go ahead and, with the lever all the way open, let's give ourselves some space to blend. I'm not afraid to go up all the way up to an inch if I need to. I just wanna make sure that this area here is going to be blended fully. I need to give myself space. If this part of the fade is compressed, it's going to look like a chili bowl cut. And that's the biggest issue when it comes to doing these kind of haircuts, is we're afraid to go up. So we can't be afraid to give yourself a solid inch, because you're gonna need space to blend. Okay, so if we set this first with this clipper open, and then let's make one more panel. I'm gonna take that number 1 guard with the lever open, and we'll do the same thing. Go up about a solid inch and give yourself some space to blend. That's the key. So now that we took the time to set these guidelines in, let's go ahead and fully focus on that bottom line that's created with the trimmer, and then that next line that's created with the clipper all the way open. We can concentrate all our efforts here. So if you choose to blend out the top line first and then attack the bottom line, you can definitely do that. In this video, I'm gonna start with this clipper all the way closed, and I'm just gonna start breaking through that line that I created with the trimmer, and incrementally open that lever as I move higher and higher into the fade. Once that's completely done, then I can start concentrating on that next line up. Now, I created that next line with the clipper open, so what's gonna fix that? I may have to hit it a little bit with the clipper open just to soften it. Follow up again with the half guard, maybe starting close to open, or if you're more of a fade down guy, you can do a open to close type motion. But this is what we're gonna concentrate on now, and then we can move on to the more bulky part of the haircut. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Chris Bassio's 6-figure mentorship program. I may have already shared with you guys that I'm a coach in the program now, so we're a lot more involved in the growth of our mentees that we have joined the group. We already have over 500 members that are applying and just learning everything that we have, and we've had some really great results so far. Of course, the way that we run the Headlines barbershops is pretty much how we teach you guys how to scale your business, how to focus on reviews and drive traffic. I shared the gem about the annual customer value with you guys in the last video that I put up, or maybe the video before last. And you know, it looks like some of you guys really have been able to pick up on that gem and apply it to your business. I mean, we have some mentees. We had somebody actually move down and started working at one of our shops where we do implement the 6-figure barber system. I mean, this guy, Jesse, I want to shout him out because he's already made over, I think it was $3,200. He did like 89 heads in a week. I mean, it's pretty amazing the results that you see when you take our system in and you apply it. You know, it can just change the whole culture of the barbershop, man. Everything works better and everything just flows better when people aren't scratching and clawing at every single walk-in that comes in, right? We want to help you generate more traffic and teach you how to lock that traffic in. You know, so just, if any of you guys are interested in information on the program, reach out to me. Like I said, I'm one of your coaches, so I'm going to be working with you, right along with you, and helping you grow your business. You know, we'll get you guys to 6 figures and beyond. It's going to take work. It's definitely going to take work on your end, but if you apply everything that we teach you, you're going to see success. So just reach out to me, whether it's in the comments, DM me on Instagram, and then we can set up consultations for you guys if any of you guys are interested in the mentorship program, and I'll be more than happy to help y'all with that. So now I'm pretty happy already with how I blended out these bottom guidelines. Mo-Fade-tastic refers to it as the bottom fade, right? So if you break this fade into two, you got the bottom part and you got the top part. That bottom part is crucial, bro. Like, super crucial. If, like I said, if that part is not blended, you're gonna look like a chili bowl, and that is not the goal. These people pay us way too much money to walk out with heavy lines in their fade. So now that I took my time and I blended out that bottom line, we can take some time now and slowly, gradually bring down the bulk on the sides down to a nice tight fade. Whenever I'm using bigger guards, and in this case I started with a number 4. I start with this clipper number 4 all the way closed, and I'm going straight up and down. I'm kind of feeling for the shape of his head, and I'm digging straight. I'm not digging in, I'm moving straight up, right? If we keep straight up and down movements, it's gonna be a nice squared up masculine shape for the haircut. You can see there, I know I'm gonna have to line up that little corner, so I'm making sure that no hairs are covering that the fade can be appreciated, the edge up can be appreciated. So this portion right here, I'm showing you guys how to do this haircut without the front lineup. Towards the end, we're gonna come back and revisit the front lineup part. But I'm gonna start all the way close with this number 4, follow up with the 3, then the 2, and then now when we get to the 1.5, that is where we're gonna start using our lever. Start open and then close. All these big guards, there's no reason to even use your lever with the big guards. Just go straight in closed, because there's no visual difference in between a 4 and a 4.5. There's no visual difference in between a 3 and a 3.5. The clipper just cuts better when the lever is all the way closed. So I'm not gonna play with the lever till we get down to the 1.5 guard. So this is where that 1.5 guard comes in, where I'm telling you that now you can start with the lever open and then halfway and then closed. Remember, we are just gradually, incrementally, every time that we move a level down, we are incrementally moving lower and lower in the fade. This is, a lot of people refer to this as stacking guards. Matt Gifted Hands and Chris Basio, those may have been the first people that I heard refer to it as that. You are just closely stacking your 4, your 3, your 2, your 1.5 open, your 1.5 closed. You know, so just gradually fade down. Keep stacking those guards, and every step that you take, you should be able to hear the hair being crunched little by little. You hear that motion every time that you cut through these hairs. So that's also why it's important to have a high quality clipper like this. Like this Stylecraft Instinct X, it's been a minute since I came back to it. I was using the regular Instinct for a little while, and then I came back to the Instinct X. It's pretty cool, man. Like, it's super lightweight. It actually reminds me of an ergo in a way. It's not as curved as the ergo is. I feel like it fits nice in my hand. Super lightweight. I missed it, man. Actually, I swapped out my regular. I mean, it's not like we made a permanent trade, but I asked one of my coworkers here, Brandon. I'm like, yo, let me try that again. Let me get that Instinct X, because I let him use it for a while. And he's somebody that actually likes the regular Instinct better than the Instinct X. So it's real interesting how it is. It's the same motor, same blade, same technology, two different body styles. So I feel like this one vibrates less. If you have the Instinct and you don't like the vibration aspect of it, try it out. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. So there we are. We're done with that 1.5 open, and then we did close. So now we're gonna go in with this one open, and then we're gonna go halfway and then close. We're just gradually working our way down. And then if you remember way in the beginning of this cut, when we first set up our guidelines, we did that first guideline with this number 1 guard open. So technically, now that we're at this 1 guard length, this should finish off the blend aspect of the haircut, and then we can move on to the lineup. So sometimes it can be confusing, right? Remembering where's my guidelines, what did I start with? But since I started off the bottom fade and I knew that the number 1 guard open was the top, the longest length of that, I'm able to concentrate and blur out that bottom part. So that way when I come back to it at the end and we go from the 4, 3, 2, 1, now I know that the 1 guard is the last thing that I'm gonna have to use. There won't be any harm if I go and try to blur out using cornering techniques with the half guard, but at least like I keep that in my mind. I know that the bottom fade ended with the 1 guard, and that's why it blends together so well now. So now that the blend, the majority of that is done, we can go ahead and start working on those C-cups. Keep it natural. You never want to go too high or dig too deep into this area with the C-cups. Just sharpen them up a little bit. And when you have a blade and a trimmer set like this one is, like the Stylecraft Saber, you know, you don't have to dig in so deep. You just have a nice crispy line on some clean skin. You know, your lines will always hit. And the thing is too, when you're doing the version of this haircut that has no front lineup, you just want to make sure that that C-cup kind of flows into the shape of the bangs, if that makes sense, right? So you can see here, like, you see I'm kind of almost tapping with the corner of my blade. I'm catching those bangs so I can make sure that it flows well together. So I started there, and then I'm gonna just roll it down into that curve that goes into the sideburn area. So now at this point, this is where he decided, he's like, you know what? I might pick up my curls. He'll use some of the Tomb 45 styling powder, and he's gonna fluff up his curls so that way you can see and you can appreciate his front lineup. And it's been a while since he got the front lineup. So, you know, he was excited to get that done again, and I'm glad he asked because I wanted to show you guys on camera how we can get it done. Now, I'm using these clips. You can see in the front, I'm very particular about how I hold my clips because I need it to hold the hair up and away from the edge, but I don't need it pulling so tight on the skin. You can see there, I readjusted it because I don't want it pulling so tight on the skin now that it's pulling back and misshaping the skin. So I set those 2 clips to where it's holding the hair up, but the tension is not too high. So where if I put a straight line in and I release those clips, then it's wobbly. I don't want that at all. So I did that, and once I finally got it at the right tension, I just used one of those Velcro straps that I think that's the Babyliss Barberology made. So we're gonna use a raking motion with the half guard. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but here's what I'm gonna suggest. You close the clipper all the way and just 1 notch. Open up that lever a little bit. The precision that this is gonna give you in knocking down those little baby hairs, getting them ready for a lineup, look, I know it can look dangerous, it can feel dangerous, but when you're on that very front lineup, go with just 1 notch open. When you're working on the side bowl, you can see right there, I lightened up just a little bit on that corner, open it up 1 more notch. So if you have 2 notches open on the raking motion on those corners where the C-cup is, and 1 notch open only on the very front hairline. Sometimes you can even close it all the way, but that's only on really, really thick hair. I think that's something that's going to help you a lot in debulking, preparing the front for a lineup. Definitely give that a shot and let me know your feedback below. Like I said, it's going to feel weird, it's going to feel scary, but do it, trust me. It's definitely going to work in your favor. So look, this is a good opportunity right here. Now that the hair is clipped up, the corners are debulked, now we can take a moment and make sure that those corners of the C-cups, while we have clear visibility, are nice and even. Once that's done, then we can jump into that hairline, the very front hairline. And it's always good to start in the middle and then work your way to another side, then return to the middle and go to the other side. If you can break this line up, the front edge, into two different sides, I feel like your probabilities of being uneven or having a slanted front lineup are reduced if you can break it down the edge into two halves. Rather than trying to attack the whole plane at once, try breaking it up into two. I think you'll be happy with the results. Now check this out, guys, right here. This kind of reaction is exactly what makes it so worth it. This is exactly why it's so important to take your time and do a good consultation, ask questions, see what their goal is for their hair. Because I want to show you guys here what the finished product looked like on the video that I recorded. Man, he was super happy with this style. He's going back into school with full confidence, close this year out, you know, go into summer just feeling great. So again, like I said, guys, if y'all have questions about the Six Figure Barber Mentorship, send me a DM on Instagram at Tito Cuts Tampa Bay, or leave me a comment here and I'll reach out to you guys. I'll reach back out. If you want a discount on any of the stuff that we used in this video today, the discount code now is Tito Cuts across the board, whether it's for Stylecraft, Gamma, Tomb 45, any products that you see here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video.